tell a German from a Frenchman? Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to make the recording. But you might want to just like we go. We're going to start right now instead of
Okay.
10 seconds ago
Okay.
because I just hit the
Woohoo!
button. Yeah.
Woohoo! Y'all ready to get fact harder? Grab life with both hands right by the hips. Read them tramp stamps. Literacy matters.
Oh
Find
shit,
out
you are
more.
warmed up.
Fuck around. Oh yeah.
That's right. Might as well give you the extra sauce.
To find out more, we're going to start with a joke here. How do you tell a German from a Frenchman?
I don't know. How do you tell a German from a Frenchman?
Easy. German has one arm up. Frenchmen always have both arms up. Anyways. Oh dear. Oh dear. Shout out to the Nazi Party of Argentina. Hey Yona, will you please remix Kanye Heil Hitler?
Oh my
No!
goodness.
Quit fucking asking me. All of planet Earth, including my family members. Quit
You're
fucking
kidding.
asking me.
Is
Never gonna happen.
Is that why they sent you the equipment? So that you would remix Heil Hitler?
Yes.
So it was a bribe.
I wish I was kidding. I wish I was kidding.
It was a bribe.
Bro, did you get that amp? Yep. Did you get that mic? I haven't got the mic yet. You gonna start on that remix now? What remix? You know, the new Kanye song. God. Oh.
That's the world we live in now.
So this time, I thought, well, I'll just remix Jesse Jet again. And I was like, well, I just remixed Jesse Jet. Huh. Let me throw that down in the queue. I'll just leave it in the shit to fuck with later bin. Let's see. And then I thought, I don't know, for some reason, I just kept thinking about the Chicago Police Department and the FBI
Oh, yeah?
working hand in glove to go break into Fred Hampton's apartment and shoot him while he was sleeping in his bed. But, you know, the American government is so courageous. They flee from Yemeni stick drones
Hmm?
and they kill our leaders when they're in bed asleep.
Well, yeah, we just it was the what was it? 1, 2, 3. It was the 40. I think the 40th anniversary of the firebombing of an entire city block by the Philadelphia police. Just a few weeks ago.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
I mean, this is not unusual activity for our various state authorities.
Well, I wish I could get Janet Reno's help right now to light up this cigarette like a Branch Davidian compound. You feel me? God damn, where's the lighter? Oh, there's women and children there. Good, they'll burn too.
Oh
All right.
yeah, well the fire will burn quicker if there's women and children in there. Everybody knows that. That's physics.
That's right. The IDF just proved it again today.
That's right.
Oh, and all prayers go out to those 2 Israeli embassy workers that fell victim to Israel's official Hannibal directive policy. You hate to see it when they go all Hannibal on their own people.
Wait,
but
is it
official
Hannibal or is it
policy.
wait. So there seems to be 2 schools of thought going on with this latest event.
Uh-huh.
Is it Hannibal directive or is it Gladio? Or is it the bastard love child of both? Ooh.
Why can't it be both?
Well, that's what I'm
We're all
saying.
inclusive in America now.
That's
It's
right.
a melting pot. Come on now. Keep the narrative. That's why we have social media, so we'll have the right words and lexicon to choose from.
It's the only way I know what the current thing is, quite honestly.
And that's the pure joy for a polyglot like the Yona to go back into this tiny little American hermetically sealed monolingual prison for the American audience. Because, you know, here's a shocker. Hasbara is produced by Unit 8200 of Israeli Mossad, their intelligence agency. and virtually all of it is produced in American English. You won't hear Hasbro talking about the Miller tree, where it's Miller time and we're going to go have a Miller beer under the Miller tree. It's fucking military.
Right.
But that's how Americans say it. Go to the United Kingdom and it's the military, the laboratory. I mean, again, the clues are all around you, froggies. This is not a fucking hot tub. Why does the hot tub have a huge cast iron handle? Can't you see the water bubbling all around you now?
Dude,
Shit's
Brits are
about to
fucked.
get real.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to continue the Angry North interview series in January. I don't know if they'll be allowed to get on the internet without digital ID at that point. The way things are going over there.
Well, you see, there's an off-on switch when it comes to on communication, off-com. Oh, got another fine. Sorry.
That's what I'm saying. Is they're already going forward and starting to roll out their digital identity services. They're saying that they want everything digital by 2027. Part of that is going to be access to the interwebs. We already know that that's a part of the whole architecture of the thing. So that's kind of my question is they're going full steam ahead with it. Like what are we going to be looking at as far as the United Kingdom is concerned come January?
The thing of it is, you got to remember our hot denim-clad Bondi villain has explained very eloquently that MAGA stands for Make America Gulag Again.
No
Shout
agenda
out
calls for
President
Pam
Abraham
Bondage.
Lincoln,
Yeah.
Shout out Abe Lincoln. Well, Lincoln did it, and then the Congress retroactively approved it. Oh, right.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Abraham Lincoln also strung up, 60-some Santee Sioux up in St. Paul, Minnesota in 1862 Christmas Day. Merry Christmas, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
The single largest public hanging in American history.
He also threw his political opponents in prison.
Honest Abe.
They were his political opponents.
It's interesting when you dig into the life of Lincoln and find out that virtually everything you've been taught about Lincoln is a lie. Everything you've been taught about Washington is a lie. What are we like 70, 71 episodes of this show? How many times have we shit on President?
Keeping count.
We shit on TJ, we shit on G-Dubs. I mean, fuck. I mean, there comes a point when it gets boring.
I'm pretty sure we shit on Lincoln at some point.
Yeah, we already did.
Yeah.
He's gay.
I don't think we ever got around to Harding, though.
But, they're not exclusive. You can be gay and pedophile, but you can be gay and not pedophile, and pedophile and not gay. It's like a Venn diagram with two circles, Kamala. Yeah. It's just a two-circle Venn diagram.
All right, Yona, Heavy D has arrived, which means we need to answer the question.
Oh, shit.
How high the Yona?
Right now, the Yona is higher than warning shots being fired over a delegation of 25 international ambassadors in Jenin in the occupied West Bank of Jordan in Palestine.
Oh, no shit. Did that happen today?
No, that happened a few hours before the coincidental murder of 2 Israelis at the American Embassy in D.C. So don't worry, you'll never hear about it.
By a dude from Chicago
that was working for Mossad.
I mean, it doesn't really matter who he's working for, does it?
No.
Yeah, here's my other
question.
That's what
we have MK Ultra for.
Here's my other question about this too, because again, I haven't devoted much time or effort into like researching the details behind it because it doesn't warrant it. But I keep.
There's a manifesto to read now.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. There always is, isn't there? But here's the thing.
Go ahead.
They keep calling it the Capitol Jewish Museum. Again, lived in the district and around the district for the vast fucking majority of my life. We're talking greater than 80% of my life. I have never heard of the Capitol Jewish Museum in D.C. I'm very familiar with the National Holocaust Museum in D.C., but they keep calling it the Capitol Jewish Museum. What the fuck? What is that supposed to signify? What are they trying to do to the public there?
I mean, you can call it Funk West, but everybody that takes the Metro knows it's Farragut West. The fuck, man? You can't just change names all of a sudden. Red line's red line, bro. There's rules. You trying to get to Gaithersburg or not?
Is it just that they don't want to use the word Holocaust over and over again in their news reports? Is that too over the top? Is that something that was decided in a fucking style guide meeting somewhere?
It's pretty hasty action taken to try to just marinate and boil and broil the American monolingual audience into 100% focus on this very suspicious event that took place in the District of Criminals.
Right.
So, and given the fact that it just happened,
especially with the dude just like wandering in and being like, "I did it, free Palestine."
You know, Canada, France, and England just issued a joint statement saying they're considering targeted sanctions. The European Union Commissioner of Trade just announced possible Article 2 violations by Israel. So apparently Israel is on the cusp of almost committing a genocide. Thanks, EU. They're almost there, right?
Again.
I mean, we've only killed 68,000 civilians. So, you know, I think you got to get over 71,000 and then you get back harder. So,
South Africa has a way to go then.
Right.
They're not even in the ballpark.
I mean, so
only
far
like 20,000.
We've only been able to save 57 Afrikaners from the South African genocide. Boring.
Well,
boring.
Yeah, right. That kept it from being 20,057. You know, so that's progress.
But you know, all I'm hearing now is bluster. I'm still not seeing any change in action on the ground. In fact, it's just continuing to get worse. I mean, you know, 3 trucks were let in with food, 2 trucks with shrouds to cover the dead with. That's all they get.
Yep.
2 million people. That's all they fucking get.
Are there even 2 million people left?
You know, the real head scratcher is, you know, there's absolutely nothing that the United Kingdom can do, nor the United States of America can do. There's absolutely nothing that Canada nor France can do to stop Palestinians from crawling out from underneath rubble and seeing on the bomb shrapnel, "Fabriqué en France," made in the UK, made in the USA, made in Canada, "Fabriqué au Canada." I mean, what else could Canada, the United States, England, and France, for example, possibly do to stop the killing of Palestinians? I mean, you expect them to put sanctions? God forbid they stop giving them arms, bullets, and bombs to kill them with.
Giving? Wait, hold on. What do you mean giving? We don't give anybody shit when it comes to armaments. Motherfuckers pay for that shit. It's called a business. We produce it, you pay us for it, and then you can have it and do whatever the fuck you want with it. You want to bomb brown people? That's what we recommend. That's what it's built for.
Israel pays us for the bombs? We don't give Israel aid?
We give Israel aid, all right? They still buy weapons from us, and then they also steal weapons from us, too. So Israel has the most options. That's right.
We didn't forget you, Jonathan Pollard, doing the Lord's work. L'chaim.
Hmm.
Luckily, he was sent back to Israel.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Rosenbergs weren't.
Right. But hey, how else is Dimona supposed to produce Jericho nuclear tipped missiles and sell them to apartheid South Africa? It's not like we have receipts.
Right.
Anyways, uh, I'm already bored talking about Israel.
I know. It's just
I,
it's
I,
pointless. It's been pointless from the beginning. I feel bad for people that have built like their entire persona around the struggle of the Palestinians, because it was a non-starter from the fucking beginning. It's a zero-sum equation. Like, nobody wins in this situation. There's no point in wasting your time or your energy on it. Because, again, for like most of the people, I would imagine most people tuning into our broadcast right now has absolutely no fucking effect on their life whatsoever. Whatsoever.
I'm really curious. Maybe I should go ahead and take the plunge. I'm just curious if I could find an artificial intelligence music creating application, and
Oh,
I could
sure.
give it enough directions that it would make the song that I just made 40 minutes ago.
Nope.
I doubt it.
Nope. It's
I
going to take
doubt.
you. It's interesting that you pose that question, because, again, as a regular listener of the No Agenda Show, I've been listening to Adam chronicle his experience with AI coding.
Mm-hmm.
And what his experience has been is, yeah, it's clunky and it's awkward and it's difficult to work with. And he could probably do it himself if he buckled down and just figured the shit out for himself and wrote the code that he needed.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been doing this for a few weeks now. And he's finally gotten to the point where he's like, yeah, it's actually taking me like 5 times longer. Because every time I have it go back and fix something that it didn't do quite right, it breaks a bunch of other things.
Mm. It's just hard for me to imagine any type of intelligence AI program that would want to repeat the words of, for example, um, former chairman of the Black Panther Party for Self Defense, the late Fred Hampton.
Right.
That's not going to happen ever, ever. Because, I mean, when he, God forbid, when he gets in that one speech and he says, white power, black power, brown power, yellow power, all people power, power to all the people. Like, and then immediately says, we're all the same. The problem is not racism. The problem is classism. The
Mm-hmm.
people on the top are taking everything and eventually will own nothing. And he's dead. Well, turns out own nothing, be happy. That's actually a thing, Media Bear. And here we are. Okay, I brought us back up to date.
Yeah, yeah. No, again, it's not. It's a plan that's been hidden in plain sight for 100 years at least.
Yeah, at least
Arguably,
since the
many
16th Amendment.
hundreds of years longer than that.
At the very least, this goes back to the Jekyll Island coup d'etat.
Oh
At the
yeah.
least. At the least,
At
when
the
they
very,
threw
I
up
mean,
the
I
Federal
argue it goes
Reserve
back to
Act
the
and the
Civil
income
War.
tax.
That was the
Yeah.
thing that Jim Mars kind of opened my eyes on when I encountered, I think it was the first book of his that I read, Rule by Secrecy, back in, I don't know, 97, 98, 99, something like that, where he was pointing out that one of the main reasons that the South had seceded from the North to begin with was because of the economic stress that
Mhm.
the North had been putting on the South as, basically the major center of production,
Mhm.
right? And then they were also apparently starting to get wind of this plan to, build factories in the cities all across the North, and they were going to move the labor from the South up there to fill the factories, and the plantation owners were like, that's not going to be a good deal for us at all, because we're going to have to replace that. We're not going to get, reimbursed for any of that shit.
And so it's interesting how the Civil War is framed to people.
But here's
in the
thing:
modern
we're not taught ever, as far as I can tell, that while the conflict was going on, allegedly, funding was being provided for both sides from outside interests. One side was being funded by Britain, and the other side was being funded by France. So here is another instance of two European powers playing a completely different third nation, the citizens, the people, the politicians, everybody against one another for their own interests.
Because, of course, in the modern context, the War of Secession, which I prefer to use because in most other languages,
I prefer War of Northern Aggression, but
that's what I was taught growing up. But I grew up in central Kentucky, which during the Civil War, the Commonwealth of Kentucky was one of the few states to actually maintain a Confederate capital and Confederate state government at the same time it maintained northern capital and a northern government. So Frankfort is the capital of Kentucky for those that are dirt on geography, and Bowling Green, home of Rand Paul, shout out Aqua Buddha. That's the old Confederate capital of the state of Kentucky. But anyhow, the Civil War is always framed as a battle to end slavery and to liberate mankind and, workers' rights. Total bullshit. Absolute bullshit. At the end of the Civil War, they made slavery permanently legal with the 13th Amendment, right, Kamala Harris? So, I mean, that's what she argued in federal court.
Oh, yeah?
When she was California Attorney General. And she
I'm
argued
not aware of this.
She argued, before she became the better half of the shits and giggles administration.
No, I've actually been reading a good bit of case law recently.
But
I would like to take a look at this.
She was making the argument, of course, on behalf of the Golden State, California, that it was perfectly legal for them to hold prisoners on the fire lines and in other factories and other work release programs past their served out time date.
Oh, yeah.
Because slavery is legal under the 13th Amendment as a punishment for a crime that we just made up. You're guilty. All right, back to work, slave.
Well, it's just like it was on the plantation.
And so, the story of American empire is really the story of European empire in America. Who's kidding who? And it's always been about labor exploitation. Now, when you want to talk about the real political issues that the Civil War was fought about and the reason why states seceded from the Union, it's because when you compare the original Articles of Confederation to the later United States Constitution, many have made this argument. The Articles of Confederation was better. The Constitution didn't have as many checks and balances or sovereignty for the states. And so really, it very much was an issue about all the states' rights.
Correct.
Versus the District of Columbia's ability to federally legislate and federally rule all the states and territories.
It was basically it was basically the point where states' rights became irrelevant. The end of the U.S. Civil War was essentially the end of states' rights, as far as being superior to the federal government.
You look at that in the context of what happened with, for example, let's take Italy, for example, with Giuseppe Garibaldi and the red shirts. The Camici Rossi. they were fighting against the Vatican and the Papal States, which had most of the wealth and land. And then there were other, Kingdom of Two Sicilies, Kingdom of
Mhm.
Genoa, Firenze, Veneto, Florence, Venice. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Um, and
Right, which were all separate
all
little
separate.
city states,
And so Garibaldi unified Italy
which it
into
seems like we're
one
going back to city states, by the way.
into one nation state. And so we see around the middle of the 19th century, that's 1800s, Derp, the middle of the 19th century, that um, local and regional sovereignty is brutally and militarily wiped the fuck out. And instead, top down federal rule on a national sovereignty level is violently established. And now we're witnessing attempts to violently establish, but in an anesthetized fashion,
Hmm.
a global sovereignty to really try to dissolve national sovereignty. But paradoxically, things are going in reverse, as you just pointed out. And we're actually going back to city states as the cycle repeats itself,
Hmm.
and the greed and the cacistocracy of complete incompetence and malevolence cascade down to just total and complete rot. Because although the US may be perhaps the best example of ossification of the pillars of a society,
Hmm. Yeah,
just a rusting hulk. I
I
mean, we
would
have a
say
whole part of the country
the
called the
greatest
Rust Belt.
example since Rome, certainly,
But then when you look at
as far as we
the
know,
United
anyway.
Kingdom, when like parts of Wales and northern England and pretty much all of Ireland, when you look at most of southern France and western France, when you look at practically all of Germany, I mean, it's staggering, staggering to see just an all around deliberate, controlled demolition of
Hmm.
national economies, but it's for a purpose.
Hmm.
And the purpose is you destroy regional economies
Right.
and regional sovereignty to establish national sovereignty. So I guess we'll just go with this same old playbook and we'll destroy national economies so we can establish global
Well,
sovereignty.
again,
And
it's not
yay, novus ordo seclorum.
right. It's not necessarily about destroying economies, but what you have to do is you have to bring economies into line with one another
Under the
because you
sun.
can't, right. You cannot have two member states of the same conglomeration where one state is wildly wealthier than anybody else in the conglomeration. Like it's going to cause nothing but problems. So you have to, at the very least, present the illusion of equality. Americans know exactly what that's all about.
It's very interesting to me that, you know, a society of people have basic things that you can define said society or people by. And of course, when it comes to this idea that there is a homogeneous country amongst 50 states and territories, and that there's a homogeneous like culture and music and everything for all of the US. Of course,
Right.
that's promulgated from, Hollywood.
It's
Shout out
absurd,
Laurel
by the way. It's
Canyon.
absolutely
You
it's
know,
absurd and it's not true.
it's not true. But this whole mythology of a great melting pot for all of the useless eaters, the hoi polloi, as it were. And we've got our Taylor Swift and our auto tune and our T Pain and our All My Kittens Meow Mittler with Kanye, and we've got this homogenous rap, cool, hip culture with Netflix and chill and all these things that are allegedly American, but in reality, If you go to Worcester or Gloucester, Mass, it's totally different
Mhm.
from Nouvelle-Orléans. Et tu mets plus de brogue, Louisiane, les Acadiens, fucking coon asses, you know? The truth is, there's different parts of the country where there's different food, different
Mhm.
music, different literature, a different culture, a different people, because it was, you know, say what you want about settler colonialism. Blah, that's a mouthful. Settler colonialism and the
Ah, I caught
genocides
it the
that
first
ensued
time.
therefrom. Nonetheless, there were different colonies with different populations. Some mixed, some didn't. You go north of the Fleuve Saint Laurent into Quebec and Ontario, and you get the Métis, where they mixed with the coureur de bois and the
Right, and they're, like, half
Ottawa and
froggy.
Huron, and they're half froggy. And so it's just interesting to see these different, and of course, in the case of the Cajuns, they came from Acadia. They are
Acadia.
Acadians
Right,
or Acadians. See what I did there? And they
right.
came down from the mouth of the St. Lawrence Seaway because that was what they call in Quebec le grand dérangement, the great expulsion, because after Montcalm was defeated at the Plains d'Abraham, General Montcalm of the French army was defeated
God,
at the
that
Plains
sounds
of
so
Abraham
gay.
in Quebec City, Ville Quebec, and the English kicked ass. And then the English said to all the Frenchies there, "You must swear loyalty oaths to the crown and Buckingham Palace." And they said, "Fuck that. We're gonna go ride saddleback on some alligators. Fuck that."
Might as
And so they
well.
bailed for Louisiana. Can't blame them there. But the
No.
point being, this false idea of homogenous culture we're seeing now, at least in my opinion, AI music, AI videos, AI articles, fictional
Mhm.
AI books that are in your AI summer article for what you should read.
Yeah, your
I
summer
was
reading
making this
list
up.
does not actually fucking exist. I mean,
Right.
look, for some people, for some Americans, all right, that is the perfect summer reading list. Wait, none of these actually,
TLDR.
wait, they're not real? I'm gonna read every single fucking one of
Well,
them
goddamn,
then.
I'm already done with my
I'm
homework.
done with my, yeah, I can
Put my
party the
dog gonna
rest of the
eat
summer.
now.
Fuck yeah. Merca.
So I see the purpose of AI music and why these different AI music websites and places where I can go and upload my music for free. Asterisk
Right.
is all over the goddamn place. Yeah, but I have to sign the TOS, which is TLDR. I'm not reading terms. I ain't got time for this. But then you look into the new terms of service, all that they've all been recently updated. That when
Yeah.
you
You'll notice
upload your
that they
music,
all get updated at the same time. It's a crazy coincidence.
what a coincidence! So what they say at the end there, buried in the fine legalese print, if you can even speak legalese,
I've
have
been
your
getting a
Black's
bunch
Law
of them
Dictionary.
lately, by the way.
Invest in a Black's Law Dictionary. Trust me, Res out Blix. Anyways, so when you look at the TOS thing, it says any music that you upload onto our platform and license, you are giving permission to our music AI to study your chord changes, the entire song, data scan it and everything, and use that in its computing ability to improve its ability to make music on its own. And when it makes music that samples your chord progression or your harmony or your melody or your lyrics or your singing style, fuck you, we're not giving you credit or one goddamn cent. Now sign the paper. And so
Sounds right. Yeah.
people complain to the United States Copyright Office. And interestingly enough, Shira Perth Miller actually responded and wrote an opinion 2 days ago that yes, this is copyright infringement. AI software companies should not be doing this.
Oh wow.
Oh, breaking news, her ass got fired in less than 24 hours. They'll find somebody else that'll approve it.
Why does that
Maybe
not surprise me?
bring back Ajit Pai with his 2-gallon coffee cup. Come on. Remember that guy?
I do remember Ajit Pai, as a
The
matter of
good old
fact.
days of the FCC.
The old days, yeah.
We want net neutrality.
Yeah,
God
right.
damn. Hey, do we got net neutrality now?
No, not even. Oh, God, what we have now is just such hot garbage.
So
It could be so much better.
apparently, there's been changes that have been made to Twitter because before.
Yes, there were changes being made in real time today on Twitter. I was watching it happen.
When I wanted to upload a music video, because of course I can't upload an MP3 to Twitter.
Right.
Most sites you cannot share music. You have
Just an audio
to make
file, right.
a fucking video.
Right.
There's no way around it. I hate it. Anyways. God damn.
It's
hard.
conditioning is what it is.
But anyways, so when I would go to upload songs onto Twitter, if the song was longer than
2 minutes, 12 seconds.
140 seconds or something, if it went over 219,
Yeah.
I had to pay money.
Right.
And I ain't paying for shit. So
No reason you should.
Well, that's changed now.
And
I was able to upload I uploaded a couple songs on Twitter that were well over. One was 3 minutes 50 seconds. The other one was 4.5 minutes. I was like, holy shit!
Really?
Wow, it worked. Oh, when did this happen? I didn't pay for no blue check. Well, all right. Drum roll, please. Thanks, Doc Severinsen. You can stop playing the trumpet now. Yeah, we'll give you guys a music break here in a second. Just chill the fuck out. So, upload the 2-minute 19-second edit of my original song "Phosphorus Eyes," which I wrote back in June of 2023.
Right.
Months before the whole October 7th. What was that EDM festival called? Beheaded Baby Bash or something? I don't know. They just made it up. And then they moved all the cars with forklifts over and had awesome, photo shoots and stuff. Wild stuff. And they were all killed by Israelis.
Oh, it was a huge press event.
That's the weird thing. Yeah. That's the weird thing. It was the Israelis killing Israelis. Shout out Hannibal Directive. We're just going to keep. It's like there's a punk knot on one of the tires. Every 5 minutes I'm going to say Hannibal Directive. Hannibal Directive. Hopefully by the end of this video, you're going to know what the fuck the Hannibal Directive is. Okay. But I uploaded it, and I was like, great. Well, hey, I'm back on Twitter. I'll share this on Telegram and a couple places. Then I went there and I was like, oh, well, let me make sure it works. So I click on my link, goes to Twitter. Twitter page loads, and I get the blue message up top. Something went wrong. Try again.
Yep.
Huh.
It was doing that all day.
Huh. Clicked on my video again. Didn't work. Well, that's funny. So I opened up X in another tab, and I go over to where I saw Charlie Robinson had just uploaded a clip on his what is it, masturbations or macroaggressions or something. I don't know. It's fucking gay. But he's got his own little thing on there.
Mm-hmm.
And cute little name, and put up his video. So I go over to his thing. Yeah, everything's fine. I'll go over to Hassan Piker. I'm sorry, Hassan Piker. Everything's fine. And I'm like, wow, I thought he was gone. But his video is still on other bro's page. And I'm like, all right. Well, now let me go back to my video. Blink. Something went wrong, Yona. Sorry. In an Israeli accent, of course. And I'm like, God.
No, it didn't say it in an Israeli accent. Come on.
No, it was more of a South African accent. But
I'm
anyway,
not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what it was that they were doing. They were doing something because it wasn't. It wasn't that. It wasn't like the entire site was down. It was like there were different segments, different compartments that were inaccessible. right? Like for a while, your messages just weren't working. You couldn't see them. I think you could still send a message, amazingly enough, somehow.
Uh-huh.
But it like you couldn't see them. You couldn't access your messages with all your contacts and your message list and all that shit. Or like your notifications just weren't there. Or your feed just wasn't there. It was
But
just retry, and nothing. So
since we are mentioning X, I guess I will join with all the other podcasters on planet Earth, and I will share one of my tweets here. Although, if you're
what?
eating right now,
That's not this type of show, Yona.
I'm gonna warn you right now. If you're eating, look away. Just
Oh
listen,
no.
don't look, because I can only be Yona. I can't be anybody else. What do you expect? So let's see. Ah, there it is. Konbanwa, Mossad, CIA. So then I
Yeah,
go.
I can't stop him, folks, because it is his show.
Let's see here.
I'm here for the ride, quite honestly.
But let me see. Which I already shared this with you. I mean, if you're going to use Twitter, why not shit post? Anyways, okay, I'm done with
I
Twitter.
mean,
That's boring now
that's
too.
what Twitter is for.
I'm bored with Twitter now too.
Yeah.
Moving on. Page 3, Paul Harvey.
Yeah. So it's copyright infringement for these companies with these artificial intelligence engines, allegedly. Which I was, how exactly does AI create music if it's based off of a large language model? That's something I still haven't been able to square in my own head, but that's probably a me thing.
Or maybe AI music is making its music based upon all of the songs that it's already ripped off of YouTube and other
Could
platforms
be.
and used stem splitter so that it has a bank of bass parts, guitar parts,
Yeah.
piano parts. I mean, that's kind of how that works. And the really cool thing is, I've got like some 20 or 30 songs on my original YouTube page that I still haven't gone back to Google Hat in Hand to get back. And so, there's actually music of mine that AI may already be using that I
Probably
don't
is.
even have a copy of myself, yet it's my music because of losing my first 5 YouTube channels.
Right. Well, it's because Yona, you never actually owned the YouTube channel. YouTube owned it the entire time. Like
Oh,
when they tell the kids these days, like, hey, you can buy some gold. It's a great hedge against inflation. It'll help you when times are tough.
cherry on top, why did you lose your channels, YouTube? Well, I'm glad you asked. Copyright infringement, of course. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off topic. No,
Well, actually, that's on
back to
topic.
copyright infringement. Jesus Christ. Ah!
Crazy. Well, we live in Kafka times, right?
That
Where
reminds me,
it's basically we've entered reality in the superposition.
I'm so glad you mentioned Kafka because I have a roach to smoke. Anyways,
Nice. Is it good
good old
stuff?
cockroach. uh, it's the last of my Maui Wowie.
Oh,
And when I smoke it, it burns in a perfect circle, just like Lahaina. Anyway, I swear I can get so high in this thing, it melts me and nothing else is singed.
that's
Pretty cool.
crazy.
It's Maui Wowie.
You should try smoking it wearing a blue shirt.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Hey, there's blue in this shirt, I think. A
Huh.
little bit. Up here in the Legato staff meeting portion of Grand Theft World. Anyways, I'm gonna be good.
All right, settle down.
Settle down, Beavis. I'm a musician. I love legato melodies. It's very
What?
smooth and connected. Anyway,
Sure.
allegro,
Sure.
adagio, scherzo,
Oh my goodness.
legato. All right.
I thought you said you wanted to go off on AI stealing music from people.
Well, that's right because there's a backdoor, man. Um, and that's the whole problem with the AI. They can backdoor into all your music at any time
Well, yeah, because
and just use
it's
it.
written into the EULAs now. It's I guarantee you every single one out there. It doesn't matter what platform we're talking about because they all have AIs attached to them now in some form or fashion that they're
So
feeding.
this is what's so cool about it. And I agree. People are like, man, fuck that. I'm not signing that thing. And then you're like, well, goddamn, I got to publish my song, but I don't want them using my song. And you're like, well, you know what? I'll just publish it myself. And then you publish it yourself. And it goes to Spotify. And then YouTube automatically rips a copy.
Yep.
And it says DJ High Yona topic
Yep.
on YouTube.
Yep.
And then Alphabet gets a hold of
They
it
have
with
a
their
they
AI
have a special
music.
license, Yona. They can take anybody's music and put it on their platform,
Right?
and they
And
don't
then
have to
guess
pay a
what?
damn thing for it.
You didn't want to sign that thing. You didn't want AI music to fucking scan your song and copy your shit and not pay you anything. And no matter what you do, no matter how you fucking distribute it, as soon as they hear it, it's theirs.
That's right.
Sorry. How you gonna stop it? And of course, the whole point is once we can get robots, which really means once we can get the control of all music production, film production, all threads of art and culture are controlled by robots, anonymous coders. There's nothing anonymous about it.
No.
American culture, as it's dictated to the world and dictated to Americans, has always been fake. It's always been gay. It's
Yes.
always been to market ideas to convince you how free you are while you are
Well,
further indebted and further
well,
enslaved
yeah. At
day by day.
the end of the day, it's to get you to make sure that you keep buying products,
Mhm.
so that you're a good consumer.
It's all about, you know, shopalooya, right, Reverend Billy? Shopalooya.
It is. That's exactly it. At the beginning of the 20th century, it was about creating a workforce, a labor market for this economy that they were going to build out of the Industrial Revolution. That was what they needed. That's why the standard curriculum was created for the American school system. Eventually led to the creation of abominations like the Department of Education. But there was a man named Dewey that was instrumental in laying the groundwork for the horrors that we see in American public schools today. And that was more than 100 fucking years ago. But they were trying to create a different type of human then because it was a different economy, it was a different era. They needed humans to fulfill different roles in society in order to make the really big machine that we call civilization
I gotta grab a
move.
pack of cigarettes. Hang on just a second.
Yeah,
I'm
not a
sorry.
problem. That's a shame though, because I forgot where I was going with that, and I got to a stopping point, and I was hoping that Yona was going to be able to just jump in and pick
I'm
it
sorry
right
about
up. Yeah.
that. And now I've got my cord hooked under my chair. Oh, yay. All
Oh
right.
damn, that's a nice shirt.
Oh, let's do it again.
Yeah. Let the folks see that pretty shirt. Oh, that looks so nice on the black too. Fan fucking tastic, man.
Independent radio is always a good call because fuck it, we ball. There you go.
I'm gonna have to clip that. Make it a drop.
It's because we have our own culture. And in order to have any type of consciousness or awareness or resistance or revolution, God forbid, you have to have a culture, a language, an art, a music to be able to express that through. And so the best way to keep that from ever happening is to make just absolute, complete, completely meaningless, fake fucking music. And how better to do that than to just write code for programs that will produce that music. And so now you can lay off all the screenwriters, lay off all
Mhm.
the actors, lay off all the musicians,
Right.
lay
You
off
can keep all
all the
that
video
money.
editors, and keep all that money for yourself.
That's right. And I guarantee you the price of movies isn't going to go down just because it's all machine created. Price of music is not going to go down just because it's all machine created. You're still going to be expected to be a consumer in every possible sense of the word. That's the whole point. Extracting as much from you as possible all the time.
Dare I say that diverse, creative minds will always create better content
Yes.
than AI generated content, which is never going to be able to come from as original sources with original music in the way of the diversity of creators are amongst more than 300 languages all around the earth, amongst tens of thousands of different musical instruments. It's never going to happen. I mean, take it from me, I'm one of the few DJs out there that will record songs in, I'm not even going to start listing languages. Just uh, pick a fucking language. You know,
Right.
I mean, I mixed languages and instruments from all over the fucking world. And I know the music that I make, no AI is ever going to make music like me.
No.
Ever. Ever. And so I understand what the whole point of what's happening with all this AI shit. And that is to completely kill culture and art
Yeah.
entirely, remove all creative process, and so that now we will just have state music,
Yeah. Well, it's the
state opera, right, Joseph Stalin? Everything will be approved by the AI Communist Party because it's
it's the
code.
fulfillment of McLuhan's prophecy, right? It's the completely mediated reality where in between you and every other human that you interact with is a machine.
Mhm,
More than likely,
right?
it's going to be a screen because that's what they've gotten people fixated on.
That's what the conditioning has been.
Yeah.
It's all there. It's all there. Well, I got the cigarettes and I got the weed and everything, but
You don't feel any better?
no, I can't light it because
You don't have a lighter? Well, I thought you just had a lighter.
these both just died. So now
Well,
we've got the
shit.
Zippo lighter,
Yeah.
and you open that, you turn it upside down, you
Yeah,
open
I
the little
know. I
thing
know how to
up,
load a Zippo.
and we get out the good old Zippo lighter fluid.
That's right. You burn
And
the fuck out of everything.
in case I run out of
That's the
flints, I
best
got
part.
my little flint thingy, putting in extra flints.
That is one thing I
So
miss
spark.
from smoking is Zippo lighters.
Oh yeah. And of course, you can do the little snap, snap your fingers, pop it
Oh
open.
yeah, everybody's got
Oh,
the tricks. It makes it look all
oh, yeah.
fancy and shit.
Fuck yeah. It's like James Dean, Rebel
Yeah, I
Without
mean,
a
there's a little bit
Moral.
of that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
But
that was a different America. That's for damn sure.
I, you know,
I'd be surprised if kids today know what the fuck a Zippo lighter is. Quite honestly.
I've always been fascinated with history because of the history that's never told. Shout out Howard Zinn. And that is the great memory hole that we often give lamentation and praise to as it just gobbles up in whole or in part entire chapters of American history and history around the world. But now, again, thanks to AI, thanks to social media, we're able to now memory hole events
In
within
real time.
minutes and hours, within real time, such that you can have Israel attack an international delegation of ambassadors from 31 different countries. Those countries then start complaining. Let's see, Italy, France. I'm not even gonna start going through the list. There's at least 6 or 7 countries now that have officially summoned their Israeli ambassadors to the capital to answer for this. They're all
Oh,
talking
wow.
about directed, targeted sanctions, and I mean, an absolute fury. And they're still talking about it on the other side of the Atlantic. Pero en las otras idiomas, mi disculpe. Il parle avec ça dans les autres langues. They're talking about all this in other languages. I'm sorry, Americans. I can only say good things in English. You're not allowed to know what they say in Spanish, so don't learn Spanish. You're not allowed to know what they say in French, so don't learn French. We're in America. We only need to speak English. Fuck them. Make everybody else speak English. And guess what happens? Slowly but
You
surely,
miss out on the conversation.
and the whole world is talking about you, and you don't fucking know it, which makes you the weakest link and the first human population to be summarily wiped from the earth. Take a look at what they're doing to Palestine, honky nation. White folk, because
Hmm.
Yins is next.
You think they're coming for the white people?
They already are.
I mean, I don't.
It's full circle. At first, it
Eh,
was the white savior. At first, it was the Quetzalcoatl riding in on the water, right? Montezuma,
eh.
at first, it, they were the top of the pyramid, and now they're constantly reviled. What's one of the terms Homeland Security Administration refers to people that are pro Constitution or oath keepers? Oh yeah, domestic violent extremists, because you pledge of allegiance and that weird shit, right? Um, God.
I mean, I agree. It's time. It's the white people's turn to be like completely demonized in society. Obviously, that's what the programming has been for, I don't know, 15 years at least. But I don't know if they're necessarily. I don't know if they're coming for us more than they're coming for any other group of people. I think they just want to kill all of the poor people. They're
Thank you, Fredhead.
I think that they literally see us as parasites. They see us as taking the resources that they should have, right? That they have basically more privilege than we do, and they should have greater access to these things than we do. That's why all the Agenda 2030 shit has been going on about trying to reclaim wildlands and designate it as like human free areas. This place is fucking off limits to you, citizen.
Well,
Your tax
after
money
the
pays for it.
after Poor's rebellion, led by Nathaniel Bacon in colonial Virginia, down there by Fort Henrico on the James River. Shout out Richmond.
Right.
Um, in response, that's when the House of Burgesses in the British colony of Virginia enacted the race separation laws, where, like for example, uh, whites and blacks were forbidden from marrying in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Right.
Right. Sic semper tyrannis up until early 70s. What was it, 72? Right
Mm,
around when I was born.
yeah,
Um,
I think it was 20th century, as a matter of fact.
um, don't quote me on that, but I mean that was
Well, I
one of
mean,
the
shit.
rules.
It was illegal to give or receive a blowjob in the state of Virginia up until like less than 10 years ago.
That's right, anti-sodomy laws. But nonetheless, ever since that response to Bacon's rebellion and
I
his
broke the
army of
law a lot
support,
in Virginia when I was younger. By the way, receiving, of course.
and so that then established um, this whole concept of the white privileged class that, the whites are a notch above the slaves. They're only 3/5 of a person, and they're a few notches above the Cherokee or the Rickahannock or the
Mhm.
Paspahegh or the Assateague or the Shinnetique or the Chesapeake, because they're 0/5 of a person. Am I
Right.
right, Constitution? So 5/5, 3/5, 0/5. And so there was this feeling of, we're, police might do that to those Niagaras down there, but they ain't gonna do that to me because I'm white. I said, well, them days are over. And again, this is what
No,
Fred
yeah.
Hampton was trying to explain with the Black Panther Party for self-defense.
Mhm.
And that's why you had, like, for example, the Sons of the Confederacy, which was a Southern power movement. And they were under the same tent with Fred Hampton, with the
Yep.
Chicanos and the Puerto Rican Young Lords and American Indian movement. And again, red power, brown power, white power, black power, power to all peoples.
Right.
Government should be of the people, by the people, for the people. That's why Fred Hampton had to be killed, because why would we ever want a government of the people, by the people, for the people? It's not like that's in the preamble of the fucking Constitution.
Yeah.
God damn it, man.
There's a lot of things in the Constitution that have been ignored, just outright ignored over time.
From the day
Continue
they
to
were
be
written,
ignored to this day. Yeah.
from the day they were written. And that's why, with all due respect to constitutional scholars, it is the high law of the land since 1789. Um, but July the 4th was not in 1789 when we declared independence. It was 1776, I do believe.
Right.
So the 13 years prior, yes, we're back to the articles of, ooh, I'm going to have to say one of those racist words again. Trigger alert. Confederation.
I don't think
Oh
they
my
heard you. I don't
God,
think they
not a
heard you. You're gonna have to
confederacy.
say it louder.
Confederation.
Yeah.
No, 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 not a confederation. Not a confederacy. That's racist.
Right. Right. Which is exactly what we're gonna be called after this episode concludes. By the way, in case you
Because
hadn't
I
figured
used
that
that
out.
word.
Yeah.
I used the
I
C
know. I
word.
know. You use the word.
But to be fair, I was referring to the AOC, Articles of Confederation. That makes it better. You want a drink, Sandy? Anyways, Sandy out from the Queens, y'all.
Yeah, she might be president one day. She might be our first female president.
Yeah,
Think about
totally.
that. That's gonna
Totally.
that's gonna fucking burn Hillary's crotch right up, man. It'd be like that fucking spick.
Look, those guys pulling the levers down inside Raven Rock Mountain Complex in Pennsylvania, they do have a sense of humor. She's got a real shot.
I mean, think about it. Bush was entertaining. Joe Biden was entertaining at times.
I keep bringing up AI and culture and thought. Um, I think I've been waiting for 11 o'clock. Hang on. Oh, it's already 11 o'clock. All right. Okay. All right. God damn, I got to get this thing loaded up. No, it's loaded up. All right. I did bring my homework. I did do my homework. Um. Oh, and then in the last week, heard three more sales pitches for Prosperity.
Oh my
Book
goodness.
your flights today. And I was talking to
That was for all the issues that we had during the broadcast last week. There were quite a few people tuned in for that one, and after the fact as well, which is excellent.
um I had a chance to talk to my old buddy from the Convo Couch. Shout out to Fee, aka Fiorella Isabel,
Mm-hmm.
now a correspondent for Russian state media, RT.
Right.
Um, question more. And the other half, our favorite Ziploc bag of pasta, good old Craig Jardula. So I was talking to Pastaroni there, and I brought up, La Zona Prospera and, the whole thing with the Castro government and the Honduran Supreme Court striking down the latest legislation
Yeah.
for
Again.
zonas de empleo y desarrollo económico, or job and economic development autonomous zones or something, basically. Um, and he informed me that he is going to be joining Fee in a couple of weeks as an official guest of the Gobierno Hondureño, Honduran government.
Hmm.
Um, and he had heard uh, mention of this libertarian paradise
Just so
before,
happens.
and was kind of curious where it was. So I think it was it last Saturday? Saturday Night Anarchy, maybe? I think so. I smoke so much weed, I can't expect to remember everything. But
I know how it goes, man. Trust me.
anyway, I don't know. It was it's all a blur anymore. But plus a lot of personal shit going on in my life. Um, yeah. But anyways, I was and so I pulled up the Google Maps and was showing them where it is, and the 18-hole golf course and all that
Right.
stuff. And he was like, "Well, I'll go check it out, and I'll let you know."
Oh, I bet he's going to
And
go check out the golf course. Yeah.
so there, and so we had our show last Thursday, and then I'm talking to him about it like 2 3 days later, and come to find out he's going to be down there in about 3 or 4 weeks, in fact, with Fee. And of course, Fee is going to be down there doing uh, vignettes for the RT main feed out of Moscow from the stories that she does in Honduras. So I will definitely be checking that out. I mean, it's kind of cool when you're like uh, an unlicensed, untrained journalism, but like actual journalists.
Hmm.
Because you got to have your press card to like actually be a full fledged jornalista, right? Coke and jornalistas. Anyways,
I don't know. I thought you had to. I thought you had to like do the whole thing with the bookcase and the backlighting, the neon backlighting, and fuck, what's the other thing? I don't know, dude. I
yeah,
don't know all the proper stuff. That's the thing is I didn't really pay attention during media school.
I just realized
I smoked a shit ton of weed though.
that's why. See, oh, it just came to me.
What?
I want to apologize to Occult Priestess for never taking that $25 and buying the green screen to put behind me.
Why?
Um, that's I need that in my life. I need the green screen. I need more fake shit around me because I don't want people seeing that. Like what the fuck is that hanging on the wall? I know people. All right, okay. Tell you what, it's been 71 episodes. Special treat for you before we
Oh
hit you with
wow.
the music. All right.
Just for the
Hopefully.
Liberty Radio audience, ladies
That's
and
right.
gentlemen.
That's right.
This isn't anything that we've done before. I don't know exactly what's happening here. He's doing something out of the frame that we can see. I'm not quite sure what it is. This is a highly irregular behavior, ladies and gentlemen.
This is what's hanging on the wall. Hopefully,
It just looks like a bright light. Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay, it looks like an eye chart. Although those are not any letters that I've ever seen. Well, that kind of looks like a Z. And that looks like a Y. That looks like a W.
that's where I'm teaching my children how to read and write with the Desquastos Shalagabonhisi Cherokee symbol.
Oh,
How you like that, Kemosabe? Anyway,
wow.
And also thank you to Honeywell Corporation. Anyways,
I'm kind of curious. I wonder if we can live stream to Twitter again now,
yes,
or if that's still like only for the blue checks. I might have to
I
flip
think
that
so.
switch and
I
see if it
think
goes
so.
tomorrow.
I watched a couple of indie shows on the Twitters. Again, they've made some changes to Twitter to make it almost feel like there really is a second and third floor. But as we all know, social media is just a Potemkin village for intelligence agencies.
Pretty
Anyways,
much.
I mean, we're trying to impress Catherine the
Well,
Great, and she's hard to impress.
the thing that I keep coming back to is the um the report from Iron Mountain, right? Which has been widely debunked as being completely fictitious. But there were still things like basically it's just the modern day version of the protocols of the elders of Zion, right?
Yeah.
It's revelation of the method, but in a way that it can be completely discounted by the public. And I go back to the whole idea, the concept of silent weapons for quiet wars.
Hmm. You finally got me back onto the mainline track. So we
Yeah.
will depart the branch line and the siding and go back to it.
What is social media if it's not a weapon system? Look at what it has done to our world.
The dispersal of chemical biological weapons is already several years into the past at this point and continues present day. And so,
Right.
like Malcolm X or Malik Al-Haj al-Sabaz just said, the whole point of manufactured American culture is so that you will suffer peacefully. Kind of like when you go to
Mm.
a dentist and they have to drill and fill a tooth. And so they want you to suffer peacefully. They take out that syringe filled with what's it called? Novocaine or something
Hmm.
like that. And they inject it into that gum around the tooth, right? And it numbs that whole part of your jaw. And next
No,
thing you
it's
know,
sometimes that whole side of your face.
right, and you can smell the burning bone and hear the drill and the whirring and whizzing, and you just got a big long piece of drool just dribbling off the corner of your lip, and you're suffering peacefully.
Hmm.
And that's what I feel like we're already into World War III, but nobody's really screaming that hard domestically within CONUS because you can suffer peacefully.
Well, yeah, you've got all the pacification measures in place, right? You've got the drugs,
Mhm.
both legal and illegal,
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
for people to take the edge off. You've got the entertainment. We got bread and circus out the fucking yin yang, man.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
what do you want? What are you into? We got it. We got it 24/7. By the way, we got it so that you won't ever have to not have it ever again. Like what are people supposed to do? You know, not amuse themselves to death. Yona, is that what you're getting at? Are they not supposed to just watch the world pass them by as
Well,
they're just sitting there consuming constantly?
the important thing is that none of us consume the same thing. The warfare psychologically, thanks to AI,
Hmm.
needs to be more and more and more personally tailored to what's going to trip your dopamine and serotonin production and get you to just maintain that lizard brain low vibration.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's basic animal husbandry if you think about it.
Pretty much.
Except the species that we're running stock on the 40 acres with happen to be Homo sapiens. Homo
Homo
power.
sapiens sapiens, yeah.
Anyway.
Don't worry, Homo Deus is coming. I read a book recently.
So I have pulled up here Zendaskenge, or Black Panther, um, which is
I still haven't seen that yet.
uh, oh, are you talking about the cartoon movie or no, the movie about the
Yeah, the
superheroes?
cartoon movie with the superheroes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not. I don't plan to see it either.
I don't. I just. I don't really watch movies anymore. Like last movie I saw in the theater while it was playing in theaters was Heath Ledger as the Joker in that
Hmm.
Batman. My God, when was that?
I think we've talked about
2009.
that before. Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This big sweaty cougar trying to just eat me right in the middle of the fucking movie theater like a corn dog on a stick. Bitch, this ain't the Texas State Fair. Get off me.
You
Um,
know, the funny thing is, in the last 5 years, with very rare exceptions, I don't. I haven't watched a movie, a television series, a sporting event. Nothing. No, nothing that I
yeah.
would consider to be like television fare. Nope.
Yeah. I mean,
Completely
I
cut
really
it
don't
all
have
out.
time. I don't have time to watch this curated content with received opinion anymore because I'm constantly fucking making other shit. So I'm going to take this moment to well, I've got to find my platform Crocs. Yes, I have
No, wow.
platform Crocs.
I would
But in the
expect that you
meantime,
would. By the way.
shout out to KC and the Sunshine Band. Hey, I'm your boogeyman. Um, uh, we've got this brand new track, which I ended up mixing. Let's see, this guy, Bon Gerardo. He's from Guerrero State, Mexico.
No shit. I used to
Well,
live
how do
there.
you like that? I know, right? Um, and let's see, I also used Floyd West 22. Um, and then so that's like I used two stems from Gerardo, one stem from Floyd West 22. I made six of the stems, and then two of the stems are for the vocal track. So, um, see, I don't really know what to call it because it's like I've rearranged all the pieces and elements, and like I've made a new song.
Right.
So it's not really a mashup and it's not really a remix, but it's kind of a mashup and it's kind of a remix, but yet I'm just gonna play the song. I don't know what the fuck to call it. Call
Well,
it Black Panther.
yeah, we'll figure it out while it's playing.
There you go.
Free bread! Free bread! Free bread! Hey, I ain't even in jail yet. When they got together, you know, in Bobby Field, yes, they got together with guns, and there's nothing wrong with that. Because we need some guns. Black people need some peace. White people need some peace. If we are going to have to fight, we're going to have to struggle. We're going to have to struggle relentlessly to bring about some peace. Because the people that we're asking for peace, they're a bunch of megalomaniac warmongers, and they don't even understand what peace means. And we've got to fight them. We've got to struggle with them to make them understand what peace means. Bobby Field going through all types of physical and mental torture. But that's all right.
Give me a little more volume.
Life from the 360. You can jail revolutionaries, but you can't jail a revolution.
There you go.
Right. You might run a liberator like Aaron Cleave out the country, but you can't run liberation out the country. You might murder a freedom fighter like Bobby Hutton, but you can't murder freedom fighting. And if you do, you come up with answers that don't answer, explanations that don't explain. You come up with conclusions that don't conclude. And you come up with people that you thought to be acting like pigs, just acting like people and moving on pigs. That's what we've got to do. So we're going to see about bobbing, regardless of what these people think we should do. Because blues is not important and work is not important. Nothing's more important than stopping fascism, because fascism will stop us all.
But the state's attorney and the state's attorney's office has reason to see Fred Hampton in jail. We've got a new state's attorney. He said already what he thought about people that had different political beliefs than he had. His speeches sound somewhat like those of Hitler, and we know why he wants to see Fred Hampton put in jail. Why do I have a lot of arrests because of harassment? Why is that harassment? Because the people that harass me have set up a problem that made me disagree with them violently, and they set up this problem in order to exploit me and other people like me. And why they want to get rid of me? Because I'm saying something that might wake up some other exploited people and some other oppressed people. And if all these people ever get together, then these pigs that are exploiting us, we'll be able to run into the lake. That's why they want to get rid of us. And it's just, it's sort of like a primary thing with me. I'm the first move that they'll make. I'm a part of an organization who'll be the first organization they'll move on, because I happen to be a part of an organization with Black Panther Party. That is the only organization, in fact, that has came out and stood up loud and clear and said that we don't care what anybody says, whether they have guns or not, and badges or 18 uniforms. If whenever they step outside the bounds of legality into the bounds of illegality, then we'll blow their brains out. It's their father that did it. And what makes them mad about that? They're constantly bothering the people. Anybody that's out there for the protection of the people happens to be in direct conflict with them. What makes them mad about it? What makes them mad about it is that they have black people and white poor people and red poor people and Puerto Rican poor people and Latin American Puerto Rican people of poor people of all descent. They have caught up in movements based on racism when the Black Panther Party stood up and said that we don't care what anybody says. We don't think we fight fire with fire fists, we think we fight fire with water fists. We gonna fight racism, not racism, but we gonna fight with solidarity. We said we're not gonna fight capitalism with black capitalism, but we going to fight with socialism. We still said we're not going to fight reactionary pigs and reactionary state attorneys like this and reactionary state attorneys like Hannigan with any other reactions on our part. We're going to fight their reactions with all of us people to get together and have an international proletarian revolution. Right on. And that's saying all power to the people. That's saying that no matter what color you are, you're just running through class. And that's saying there's a class over here and there's a class over there. And the reason that this class over here has never did anything to get this class off its back, because this is lower, this is upper. This is the oppressed, this is the oppressor, this is the exploited, this is the exploiter. And these people in this class have divided themselves. They say, I'm black and I hate white people. I'm white and I hate black people. I'm Latin and I hate hillbillies. I'm hillbilly and I hate Indians. So we fight amongst each other.
That was a shorter one. You're muted.
I kept it short. But I'll end up making a longer remix eventually. I was just kind of pressed for time because, I wanted to. I was working on 4 different songs at the same time, and I got 3 of them done. This afternoon. It's not counting the songs I made this morning. What the fuck else can I do? Car's totaled. I'm in a neck brace. I might as well make music in between changing diapers.
Yeah, might as well.
I ain't
What
got
else
nothing
is
else
there
to
to
do
do?
to make money, Which, speaking of which, please, I beg, I implore on this rare occasion, if you can give money, give money. Go to HIGHYONA.bandcamp. That's High Yona. www.bandcamp, where you can buy my music and pay me, because 99% of my music on there is for $0.00. So if you want to download a copy, it says I've got like 1,500 free downloads or something. I don't know. But um, you can also pay me whatever amount you feel like paying for either a single or an EP or an LP, an entire album, um, with umpteen songs and bonus
Hmm?
tracks.
There's
Um,
there's that way, and then we've also got here on the website. If you go to the very top of manufacturingreality.org and click on the provide value button, you'll see just a little bit down on the page here the listing for DJ High Yona, for sending some value directly to him, as well as a link to that Bandcamp channel. So we
and
tried to make it, again, as easy as possible for folks.
I normally don't talk about money things because I feel like, at least on my, I guess everyone has their own standards, but I feel like when I actually make such a direct and pointed appeal for financial assistance, if possible, from those that are donationally inclined, I feel a fiduciary responsibility to kind of explain what that money is being spent on. And of course, it doesn't really cost me
Ooh,
any
you know all the
money.
fancy words.
It doesn't really cost me any money to make my music per
I
se.
guarantee you there's people listening right now that have no idea what the word fiduciary means.
Well, just focus on the douchey part, and you pretty much got it. Anyways,
Yeah, well, that's not how it's explained to people when it's first explained to them, though.
what- that because you have a stakeholder and a shareholder interest in this venture when you contribute money to it. At least some people get that idea, and so they're like, "Well, I'm giving money to this motherfucker. I mean, is he buying baby parts with it? What are you doing with the money? Are you just buying coke and whores with it? You know?" Sometimes people will donate money and say, use X for Y or Y for Z. But okay, so like in the case of uh, the microphone and the filter, that's from my nephew or my nepson, Dominic.
Hmm.
I did have to buy this laptop, Lenovo, that I'm on that cost over $800. We talked about it before. And I just absolutely had to grind it out because at that point I was about to lose the ability to compute anymore.
Right.
Um, uh, and so, I have made investments of, $250 on my keyboard when we came back to the United States from being teaching in Ecuador and stuff, and the $800 on the laptop. I spent $20 getting a new, whatever you call this thing, that uh,
Arm.
the arm,
Yeah,
the
it's a boom arm.
Boom arm. Thank you, Boomer.
Yeah.
Boomer Esiason. Go
I know
Broncos.
all the lingo.
Um,
Wait until we
but
get into like Foley's and grips and shit.
like the
Wild
monitors,
shit.
the monitor speakers, and the PreSonus system.
Mm-hmm.
My good mudbutt friend from Bangladesh actually bought that and sent that to me, which then
Huh.
allowed me to listen to all of the songs they would send me day after day after day,
Right.
so that I could then give him feedback on that. And I mean, it was a great collaboration while it lasted. But eventually the demons just carry you away. Am I right? Um.
Apparently,
So yeah, it's terrible. Terrible.
I guess.
I mean, if you ever wonder, like, why there's so many demon sequences at a lot of the Dead Fella videos that I made, well, I have versions of all of those videos without demons because, ah, you know, each to their own. Not a big fan of Satan. You know,
Right.
you do you, I'll do me. Not really into like devil shit and or I don't do the whole devil and kid fucking and stuff. Um, but And again, that's a 2-circle Venn diagram if you're keeping track, Lala. Um, but I got an amp from my baby brother now, and so now I'm able to amplify microphone and keyboard.
Oh yeah.
Problem is, my microphone for my studio is a USB microphone,
Right.
and there ain't nowhere to plug in a USB microphone into
On
the
your amp.
amp.
Right. It's probably only XLR.
Right. Well, it has XLR and regular stereo jack.
There. Let's see. I'd have to see your equipment to
But
know exactly. It's I
I,
can't figure out a good signal path here in like a
I
couple minutes.
think
I have
the
to
next
work with it.
thing that's coming from either my brother or my sister is, in fact, the microphone and microphone cable, because I already have a microphone holder that
Hmm.
attaches to my what do you call that thing sticking up above the keyboard that holds the music? We'll call it a music stand.
Sand.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I think it is the music stand. But anyways, it
Yeah.
clips to the top of the music stand. Um, so in terms of blowing money on my gadgetry and equipment, I've pretty much about half of what I have has been bought for me,
Right.
because virtually all my money has gone to just paying the basic bills,
Well,
and then
yeah.
whatever was left over, I would then, of course, have to buy gas, cigarettes, and weed. And so I do have some expenses due to this whole alive status every day. Um, but then the big kicker that just always was like a kick in the balls if your wallet had a pair of nuts. uh, That's a great idea.
That may be something you can add in the future. I would not be
There's
surprised.
another product from Grand Theft World Liberty Radio,
Wallet nuts.
wallet nuts. Wallet truck nuts. Think about it. Think about it. I mean, are you nuts because you invested in precious metals? Who's laughing now? Swing them swing them wallet nuts. Anyways,
Hmm. I don't know. I was thinking more of the snack line. That might fit into the snack line. Have a
yeah,
bags of
wallet.
salty nuts.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Wally's nuts.
Yeah.
Man, that's a great idea. So what was I talking about? I just forgot.
I don't know. I'm fucking high.
I don't remember. Oh, so I heard another bad word.
Uh oh.
Lord knows, I should have never said the word confederation. God damn it, I said it again.
You
Oh, I shouldn't have
did.
said, and then I said the GD word. Sorry, Christians. Sorry, Northerners. Um, all right, so well, I probably shouldn't even mention the word socialism. Okay, yeah. Can you edit this later on? I'm using all kinds of words that are
I
like,
can, but I won't.
because see, the problem is when you get those words that end with ism,
Mm.
it's like something
Mm.
just nutted in your mouth. Like, what does that taste? Is it bleach wheezy? I don't know. Is it capitalism, communism, socialism? I don't really swallow isms. I don't have as defined a palate to disambiguate the different flavors of semen like other experts are out there. Um, so for me, I have to relate to it like, what are we talking about here? Because that's a really loaded term that's been weaponized and it's thrown around. I mean, after all, once you beat your meat, you throw around the isms. Am I right? I mean, rock hard organ,
Well,
and then it
yeah. I
busts.
mean, that's. I thought the ism was a part of beating your meat.
That's right. I
Yeah.
mean, that's where you're trying to get to.
Right.
Once you make your final point, blam, ism in your
Blam.
face.
Right. Right.
That's
Right.
what.
Right. Or at least
That's
that's
what.
how it's supposed to work.
Once you realize your
I
full
think.
earning potential
I
and
don't.
you can fully autonomize your own thoughts, you can deliver it like that for a couple of grand. Anyway, I'm going to behave. I'm going to be good.
You're supposed to be
behave.
behaving. You are supposed to be behaving tonight. Where's it? There's holiday weekend coming up, Yona. How can you not be excited for the big holiday weekend? You know, we get to celebrate all sorts of things in America throughout the course of the year. All sorts of wonderful holidays. There's
What
Cinco
is
de
Memorial
Mayo.
Day for? Is that another day that we get to
That's when
parade
we
around the
celebrate
flag?
dead soldiers.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah.
Yeah.
While
Shout out
everybody
Battle Buddies.
else is celebrating global communism in the month of May, we're celebrating dead soldiers. And then it's exactly the opposite in like September.
So, oh right, I forgot. We were supposed to go over this on Monday.
We were?
Yeah. Remember,
Was there a
okay,
memo I missed or something?
well, you emailed me the memo that there was a staff meeting that I was supposed to come into on Monday, another sales meeting, and we were going to lay out the schedule for tonight's show. And I informed you that you need to keep paying me, but I'm not coming to any more meetings or doing any more sales.
All right.
But anyways, I
That's
did
enough.
read.
That's enough.
I have the video up and ready to go from. It's not Arlington National Cemetery. I think it's maybe it's down in Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia on my mind. I'm pretty sure it's down there. I don't have that one uploaded, but hopefully I can find it relatively quickly because I knew what needed to be played for Memorial Day for the Battle Buddies
Yeah.
because
Well, I mean, you
keep it real
served.
here. That's right, as did most of my neighbors and family and friends.
Well, yeah.
Because poverty draft and I don't know, love a country. We actually believe in this whole, I don't know. It's almost like you're just born with rights that came from God, and everyone else can fuck off. I don't know. That's the way I see it.
I heard an interesting argument about rights the other day as I was wandering around the interwebs.
Look,
Basically,
every morning I wake up and I know that I was endowed by my Creator with certain throbbing rights. Every morning.
Still?
Yeah, because the flagpole's up.
All right. That's good. I mean, at your age, that's a good thing, especially if you don't need medication for that. As apparently so many men do these days, which is really, really sad. It really is.
The only thing I'm lacking for these days is teeth. That's why, this is my radio smile. I just got to meet my homie down there in Houston, Twan Von Young Dung or whatever his name is. 4 foot tall, but he's
you just
run
right across the border into Matamoros. You can get it all fixed right there. It's a good deal. They're quick, and you can drive right back across the border same day, I think.
Oh man, I can cut off my pinky, and then that'll leave the other 3 knuckles for CDG. That'll be so lit. Oh my god. Shout out Harlingen. Anyways, and Cartel del Golfo. Credit where it's due. Hey, you want tomatoes? You want guacamole? Shut the fuck up. Send it through. There's more guacamole in that truck. Anyways, let's see. Did I go too deep back?
You have a habit of doing that.
I'm trying to, because I have no idea what I called that song. I mean, it's great to make all these songs, but there comes a point where I'm like, what's the name of that song?
Well, wait, why are you looking for it?
Because Memorial Day.
Oh, all right. Oh, we were supposed to cover that in the meeting. I wasn't there yet.
Right,
I don't work on Mondays, so it's not my fault.
Well, so you send me an email telling me to show up. I don't show up, and then you don't even read my responding email. See, this is what I try to explain.
I didn't even send you an email to show up, but
hey, Yona, do you know what Drizzle's doing? How the fuck would I know? I don't show up to his meetings. He doesn't read my emails. Broken relationship.
Actually, I think it works really well.
find it eventually. Because like the little picture thing that's like the size of a thumbnail, whatever you call it. Thumbnail. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, thumbnail.
I get it now. I just learned something new. Everything's making more sense every day. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But in a scary way. And the more it makes sense, and the more I realize it, the more I realize that it's always been this way.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
I was oblivious to it because Ralph Sampson and Purvis Ellison and I mean sports ball goal touchdown run
Right.
points win. It was just so cool. I could just veg and I never had to think about like how fucked up everything. All right, there's Town Shakes. I'm pretty sure.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Yona. Why should you think about things and come to your own conclusions on them when it's so much easier to just veg out and allow somebody else to tell you what the world looks like, and you can just sit there and go, yeah, that's it. You tell them, man.
Yeah, then I wouldn't say like verboten vorten, like goddamn Confederation socialists. I mean, you don't use those words ever.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I don't think YouTube actually allows people to watch our videos anymore, even though I upload them. It's like, no, we're not going to let people see it. That's fine.
Oh, my Phosphorus Eyes song on the 4th try loaded up, worked fine. So I'm sure everybody that goes to watch my video, they'll reload it 3 or 4 times until they can see it because they want to see it.
Maybe,
I know
maybe they might, probably not.
That's not going to scare most people off, surely. No. It's just a glitch. I'm sure it'll fix itself. All right.
I'm starting
There's
to
the
wonder.
Bridge. There's the collapsed bridge. So it was before our Francis Scott Key Bridge dropped into.
Oh, good Lord. That was a while ago, man.
I know. Shout out to I-690. That road's still closed. God, I would not want to be driving across. Ooh. Oh, my God. B-More's got to be a shit show for traffic ever since.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was all that. To me, honestly, it's a miracle more cars didn't fall into the bridge because normally that bridge is packed. And
yeah, but it was struck at night.
And see, they also had DOTs out on the bridge, and they had a bunch of lanes closed because they were doing construction. And as it turned out, most of the people that died on the bridge were DOT workers that were doing the Bridgie McBridge stuff. Wow. So I think I've been looking for this song for maybe I just found it. PTSD remake.
You did just find it?
I was about to give up because I was like, holy shit, I've been looking for this song for 8 minutes.
Again, another perfect object lesson. Why you should never give up.
Normally, if you can't find your battle buddy, you give up after 8 minutes. Am I right? No, you never give up. I mean,
never.
The thing that makes it's like a hot poker into my fucking asshole is the fact that all the power of our government and all of the reverence and deference shown to Gold Star families and veterans. I'm not even going to get on the VA. Missing in action. When you leave and there's no body, maybe you're dead, maybe not. Maybe you're actually KIA, but you're marked MIA, and you can't find out because, TS1EO. I'm sorry that's classified.
Right. But it's average American citizen doesn't have the classification level to be able to look at that dossier, Yona.
So, like, if you go down to
the National Security Act of 1947.
if you go down to the Vietnam Veterans Wall and you look at the name of my uncle,
Yeah.
um, Uncle Jack Lloyd King, uh, they just told the family he was MIA, and it was making
I
my Aunt
can't hear you.
Christine. They just told my family, my Aunt Christine, my dad's sister, still alive. Hi, Aunt Green. That he's just MIA. We can't find out anything.
Huh.
And when my granddad Dita found out, like, because where my Aunt Christine was the youngest and a girl, she was like literally like just the absolute apple of just dark. Anyways, it brought him tears,
Hmm.
and he called Matthew, and he called Douglas, and he got answers in about 15 minutes by phone. Exactly what happened, because he knew Matthew and Douglas on a first name basis because he was part of their personal fucking staff. I'm speaking of General Matthew motherfucking Ridgway, General Douglas motherfucking MacArthur.
Oh,
Close
wow.
personal friends of Sam, Salvatore, and Zelmo, my grandfather. Right? My dad is Junior, and I'm Daniel. Anyways, and found out that he was run over by a jeep in Phnom Penh, Cambodia.
Oof.
But
Damn. But they marked him as missing in action.
in Vietnam, and he's on the wall.
Wow.
So
That's your tax dollars at work, ladies and gentlemen.
it just a rage inside me. Like, why would you do that to people that have paid the price? And because the whole thing with MIA is it's a wound that can't heal.
Right.
There's
There's
no
no
body.
closure.
There's no closure.
Yeah.
So
That's the whole point. That is the whole point, is to have an open wound that you can poke over time if you need to, for whatever reason. It's called leverage. It's something that is apparently just built into the human psychology. How can I get over on the next one? It's
what's
disgusting.
interesting to me is, and what's lost on people, is the fact that American Indian movement, Chicano movement, Young Lords movement, Black Panther movement. The reason why I'm covering this in the current chapter series, episode 71, Get Back Harder, it's very simple. The uniting thread, Gerald Salente, to all of you in Slavelandia, and those are today's
I finally
friends in the
figured
news.
out whose fucking bit he stole, by the way, but I'm interrupting. Go ahead.
The uniting thread is that we're all talking about a peace economy, a peacetime economy, not this war economy where it's just constant money laundering, constant bribery, constant graft, constant grift, constant gaslighting, constant surveillance, extrajudicial imprisonment and rendition. See you at CCOT, buddy. Have a nice flight to El Salvador. Or say hello to our friends on the Upper Nile in the city of Ajuba, South Sudan, Africa's newest country. You're gonna have a gay old time. Oh, you're from Nicaragua? That's fine. I'm sure once you're cleared, you'll be able to get back from where did we send
It's
them again?
similar types
Who
of
cares?
climate. Yeah, it's fine. It'll
Who
be fine.
cares? It'll be fine. Eritrea, however you say that. Well, whatever. Have fun, buddy. Um, but the fact that there is even such a thing as secrecy and classification in this day and age when there's never been less privacy. It's the most digitally invasive environment we've ever lived in terms of constant data rape. I mean, data scrape.
Same difference.
Both. Same thing.
Yeah.
Consent not required. We just took it. And now your data is our data. Fuck you. Welcome to the future time, folks.
Yep.
And in that regard, to me, the greatest insult and the greatest contempt is exhibited by the American government when it leaves soldiers behind. And when it purposefully leaves survivors and family in the dark. Ghost in the Shell, PTSD, DD 214 remix.
Are you sure that's not Arlington? Oh, you're muted.
I'm pretty sure this was Georgia. There are national cemeteries all over the country. Arlington's just the top one. Yeah. Six-man folding flag into triangle. Now it sits behind glass, held fast to the wall. Endless darkness, suffocating solitude. Reason hell, fatal spell, ghost in the shell. Perpetual sadness, fully terminal attitude. You couldn't tell I wasn't well, ghost on the shelf. Days and nights, pleading cries on repeat. No smiles, no hugs, nothing ever sweet. Ignored and forgotten, already completely dead. Resting in torment, remember what I said. Flame blown out, passion frozen through. Depression intensifying, ghost in lonely hell. No kisses, no joy, never any time for you. Tears get marks, dirt on my box, ghost for sale. Constant pleading, prayers now complete. Loved at last, flat on my back and off my feet. U.S. Army fields, white stone, no longer so alone. So happy at last gasp, nothing at all to own. Together in formation in the field of stone. More lost to suicide every day. The number's far higher than the KIA. The PTSD spreads organically.
Wow. That was kind of a bummer.
I don't think I've shared that song before.
I don't think you have. Like I say, it's kind of a bummer. Like
Yeah,
it's very deep and moving, but it's somber, very somber.
well,
But I suppose it's supposed to be because of the occasion, right?
yeah, I think the whole part, like talking about that the suicide rate amongst returning veterans is higher than the killed in action rate. At
Hmm.
the same time, the gun salute is firing. That's kind of powerful.
Yeah,
Kind of powerful. I mean, I'd like to think I can remix this with some house beats or something. Maybe I don't know. We'll work on it.
maybe
I'll see what
it's
I can.
possible. I mean, anything's possible. You never know. Just give it a slamming bass line. It'll be fine. The kids will dance to it. Nobody will even notice. I mean, Jesus, have you heard some of the metal that's coming out nowadays? It doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter
It's
anymore.
just
Just make
it's
whatever you want to
weird.
make.
It's weird in West Virginia because West Virginia, I think, amongst all 50 states, has the highest rate of active and retired and former military members
Might be.
in terms of a percentage of its population. And
Yeah.
so, like, I
Well,
mean,
again, West
every
Virginia, one of the
single
poorest states in the nation,
right,
so
and
it makes
so the
sense.
poverty draft digs here deep and constantly,
Yep.
and the whole state is full of like hunters and
Mm-hmm.
outdoorsmen. So, like, when you get a West Virginian or a Kentuckian from the mountains at boot camp, like me, I know I already know how to use firearms, and I already know how to use machetes, and
Right.
I already know hand to hand combat, and oh, but I had to learn how to use a compass because I hadn't been surveying for 15 fucking years already. I mean, goddamn, I mean, it's like I literally the only thing I learned while I was in the army was like Arabic grammar and writing and a couple of words,
Right.
pretty much.
Huh.
Other than that, I was just learning from them. You know, know your enemy.
Well, I mean, those were all the people that I grew up around too. You know.
And I say that I made that comment because time and again, time and again, time and again, when the people push back, first the private cops show up, the mall cops,
Hmm.
then the city cops, then the county boys, then the state boys.
Yep.
And if that don't stop it, they bring in more contractors. And God forbid, if that don't work, call on the fucking military.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to grind this out and we'll be done with it. And poof, it's gone from the headlines and gone from the history books. And what are you talking about? Never happened.
Yeah. I mean, they don't talk about the Ludlow massacre.
I mean, that's why we have so many.
We
yeah,
covered
Ludlow,
that on
Colorado.
a previous episode. I never hear anybody reference it ever.
You know, that's one of the biggest, coolest things about contractors is you can have it both ways. You can say we don't have any boots on the ground. We haven't lost any American lives in this campaign or conflict or whatever euphemism you want to call for an undeclared, unconstitutional war.
Right.
Um,
No military lives.
But yet there's somebody that may have been active duty under UCMJ just weeks prior, but they went ahead and took separation rather than reenlistment so that they could make 4 times the amount of money
Right.
doing the same fucking thing, but with equipment that actually works.
And the ability to go and do whatever the fuck they want when
Right,
they're
'cause no
not
more-
on the clock.
You're no longer subject to the manuals of court
Well,
martial.
you're no longer
So,
property of the U.S.
That's
fucking government.
you're expendable, right, Sly Stone?
Mm.
And with that,
Shit, yeah, that's the end of the show, man. We're overtime. People got bonus tonight.
you're going to have to wait till possibly June.
I don't know. Well, we'll discuss it in the post show meeting whether or not there's going to be a Get Fact Harder next week. Excuse me. No, it's for the post show meeting, so it's time to say goodnight, Gracie.
Well, I'll tell you what, I won't show up to the meeting and I'll send you an email about it. Just be sure not to read it.
All right,
That's all I
sounds
got.
good.
Take care, folks.
We might be on the air tomorrow night. I haven't decided yet. We might start vacation early, so you'll just have to tune in to see what happens. Good night, everybody.
Love y'all.